Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and today I'm going to be showing you an updated bookshelf tour, and I kind of rearranged the den, so I'll show you kind of what it looks like now. And then we also revamped some of the shelves I had. They're not finished yet. We still need to paint them and make them look a little bit more cohesive. But I'll show you those as well. Um, Added 3 extra shelf space, so that was nice. I was originally going to, I'll show you clips of the before. I was originally just going to take the 2 long bottom pieces of the big shelf and make sides for some of the little shelves. And my husband's like, no, no. And so we got some wood and we put sides on the shelves, and then he made 3 extra shelves for me. Uh, so I have more shelf space as well, which it was quite the project, let me tell you what. But it's done now. And then I do have yet another haul. I've hauled a crazy number of books. So I think altogether, let's see, I did 20 there. And I had already hauled like 66 books. So that's 86 plus 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100 books just in the month of November. Now, most of them are from the thrift store, and I did not spend that much. Like, I get 20 books for like $5 or less. So, but I did get a handful of new books that obviously cost a little bit more. So there's that. But my husband did get a bonus, so it was like a little bit of extra money. I gotta spend some money on books, and he gotta spend some money on his game. It all works out. But with my new TBR game starting in the new year, I did want to have some options. And I don't know, just going to the thrift store and finding these books just makes me feel good. I don't go get my nails done or my hair done or, do a whole lot of stuff. And so this is kind of my version of something I enjoy doing, and it's kind of a stress relief for me. And like I said, the majority of the time I'm not spending very much. The one bookstore, the church bookstore, paperbacks are 50 cents, hardbacks are $1, and they always have some really popular books. So I always love going there and seeing what they have, because whoever donates there reads some current and popular books and then donates them. And so I always find really good things there. And then the bigger thrift store in my area, I've recently learned the breakdown. Hardbacks are 35 cents and paperbacks are 25 cents. And then if you buy 3 hardbacks, it's $1. Or if you buy 5 paperbacks, it's $1. So really, really good deals there. Normally I spend what I would spend, on a drink from Starbucks or, getting fast food or something like that. And I'd rather spend that on books and make myself happy than anything else. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's actually start with the bookshelf tour. So I'll insert a clip here. I'll take you around and kind of show you the breakdown of where the books are and kind of the layout of the room. So I'll insert that now. Okay, so this is kind of the before. So you have my main bookshelf here with all my Nora Roberts. And then farther down, we have Iris Johansen, and then all the Danielle Still my grandma gave to me, because these are big author collections. And the main changes to this one are my V.C. Andrews books here, and then the Jim Butcher books down here. They are going to be moving to a different shelf because I do need more room for my Iris Johansen books, because I'm working on collecting her works right now, and I need more room. V.C. Andrews was originally down here, and I moved it up, and then I just need to change that up a little bit. Down here is just a hodgepodge of stuff, books I've recently hauled that I haven't found a spot for, books I'm reading, things like that. And then over here, we have the little couch and such. We have my husband's books. This whole shelf is going to be pulled out, and my husband's books are actually going to kind of go towards the bottom of the shelves because he's not really reading. Some of the ones I'm interested in, I'll leave up higher so I can read them. But other than that, like he's not reading, and um, I'd rather them be on bottom shelves that are harder to get to than just kind of a hodgepodge mess over here. Some books to be unhauled in that box. Um, the table, I have all the books for December, some new hauls I'm excited about. And then over here, so we have this little bookshelf, which I've been putting a lot of the new things I haul on. And this also has a bunch of like old books I've had years and years that I'm not necessarily all that interested in, but I do want to give a try before I get rid of. And then this is the main shelf that's going to be changing. So my plan is these bottom two shelves here, they're all one long piece. And so I'm actually going to take those and use to make sides for the rest of these shelves. And that way, because like right here, I have, all this space, I can do three deep, but it's hard to do that because there's no sides and they fall out. And like this top one's really hard because they're constantly falling down and such. And then I have like my children's book. I have more books over here and such. So it's just a huge mess. I definitely need to reorganize. There's a Fratelline sneaking in as always. And then I have my old childhood shelf. It's about the height of this one, just like a little bit skinnier, probably that much to cut off of it. Um, you'll see it after I'm all done. I'll take you around. But I'm gonna put all my children's books on that one. It's right outside now. It's kind of just collecting stuff, and so I'm gonna bring it in here to utilize it because I need more space. But yeah, this shelf always drives me insane. It's not a bookshelf. I'm just using it, but because it just has these, it's really hard to utilize that space. And then I can get rid of these and I'll have space for like an extra book here. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. And I will take you through once I kind of change the room. The bed's gonna go over there now because I need to change it up so I can have space to play my game too. So the bed's gonna go over there and all that stuff's gonna come away from the window. So anyway, I'll be back once I'm done and show you what it looks like. Alright, just sharing the current progress. So this shelf, nothing's changed. And then this was where the couch was. So I moved this little vanity over here. These are just piles of books. Have a bunch of my children's books and some other books over here. This shelf was the one that was in the corner. It's empty right now. And then all the books piled over there. And then there's this shelf. So this shelf, I had said in the last clip that we were going to take these bottom ones and kind of make a side for the shelf. But talking to my husband, he said that that would make me lose a lot of shelf space. So what we're going to do, we're going to go get some wood and he's going to help me make sides for this. And we're going to kind of revamp this. And we're also going to add two shelves to this side. And that way this side has three more shelves. Will probably go all the way to the top. So 1, 2, 3 that it doesn't have. And so yeah, I can't really do anything until we do that. And I need to move this shelf somewhere because it doesn't quite fit next to the couch. Though it might if I move the little shelf. So we'll just have to see. I still have to figure it out. There's a lot to figure out right now. The little love seat's over here now, and then the table is going to be kind of right in front of the door. Like not in front, but like alongside here, going this way. So, just wanted to give you an update. It's such a mess right now. Oh my goodness. But I will, then the next clip should be the finished product. But yeah. Alright, so just a little update on progress. So we got this shelf put together. So we added the 3 shelves here to the thing and then made sides. Not quite done yet. We need to cover the nails that are sticking through. You can see right here I just have some duct tape right now covering them. These ones I'm not too worried about because they're kind of behind the dowels. And I did get my husband's books all put in down there. So the majority of his books are down there. And I'm still working on organizing. We will eventually paint this, but right now it's gonna be a mishmash. And then I have all these books to put away. Over here there's a ton on the bed, all these over here. We got this shelf done. Again, we'll eventually paint it so it's not so mishmash, and we are going to put a ledge back here as well. That will just take some time. More books over here. This I'm going to make into my children's bookshelf, so this will have all children's books. And then this one's pretty much the same. The only difference is this whole shelf here is now Iris Johansson instead of having V.C. Andrews and Jim Butcher. And then, of course, Boo's got a bear. And then, of course, we still have Danielle still down at the bottom. So, and then this is just a hodgepodge of books I've recently hauled. So, still need to go through. And then, of course, my 24 days of Bookmas books, because right now it is the 30th. So today I'm going to be putting all these books away for now, because we probably won't get to painting or anything until the new year. And I still need to figure out where I'm putting this shelf, because there's not really room for it, as you can tell. So anyway, just wanted to give a quick update, and I'll be back once the finished product is done. All right, so we enter the den, and we have my little table where I put my, set up my camera and such, and the love seat and whatnot. And then we come in, and this is the main bookshelf, which hasn't really changed a whole lot. So we have my Nora Roberts books here. There's 3 shelves of those. That's my husband's little jar I need to put somewhere. But some of the books are missing because they're pulled for December's TBR. And then we have Iris Johansson down here, my husband's tiger that I need to put somewhere. These ones I'm working on collecting her works now that I'm done with Nora Roberts. And so, yeah, that will change a little bit. I definitely need more space. And then I have all the Danielle Still books my grandma gave me. And then we move over and we have children's books here. So we have like the Little House on the Prairie, Bobbsey Twins, Hardy Boys, Manicula, Wrinkle in Time trilogy. I mean, there's more than the 3, but I got the trilogy in there. Oh, my phone spins. Enchanted Forest Chronicle, Wayside Books, Winnie the Pooh, just a hodgepodge of books there. Then I have my horse and dog books down there, and then I have my husband's Goosebumps books by R.L. Stine, some of my teenage horror books, which includes R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike. And then over here we have my December TBR, my 24 days of Bookmas books. We have just a little bed and a Frateline there. Her name's Adeline, I call her Frateline. Have a box of books to unhaul. Just kind of a hodgepodge over there. And then we have these bookshelves here. So up here is about a bunch of the more current books that I've gotten because of BookTube and read, or some of the other ones that I've read and really enjoyed. And then we have my 25 Days of Bookmas books from last year. Behind these ones are my ABC Author Challenge books. So they're all back there. Then we have kind of my classics and collection of works there. Some V.C. Andrews, the Jim Butcher books, and then also some just young adult books that I put back there. We have some of my like nonfiction and my animal books here, and then just kind of a hodgepodge. Jackie Collins, my mom gave me those books. That's one of her favorite authors. A couple books that ended up on my shelf, from when I was a kid. People gave them to me, and I haven't read them. Cassandra Clare, Hunger Games, and then again, just some hodgepodge and some books that are from like movies and such. Brian Jacques is back there. Anne McCaffrey and Michael Crichton is behind that. And then down here, we have Laurel K. Hamilton, and behind the Anita Blake series is her other series. I forget which one it's called. And then some Terry Brooks books, which those are my husband's. And then the bottom shelves are packed 3 deep of my husband's books. So there's Terry Goodtine, R.A. Salvatore, Dennis L. McKiernan, and then just multiple authors. And then up here we have some more of my husband's books that I'm interested in reading. Some Stephen King and a few other books I've gotten. Dean Koontz is back there, and then behind that is the Harry Potter and Twilight books. And then we spin over here, and these books are the recent haul that you're about to see. And so we have this top shelf, which those might go on, or all the way down at the bottom. I just have like my bookmark making stuff, so they might go down there too. I'm not really sure. These books all right here, sorry, I hit the microphone. These are books I've had on my shelf forever and ever. They're not books I necessarily chose. They're books that were either gifted to me, or just given to me rather, because people didn't want them anymore, or books that just got sent to me. These books up here, though, are books that I've hauled recently from like the thrift store and such. And then you come around, and these are the books I'm really interested in reading. So we have the Scythe series, the Lunar Chronicles, the Raybearer duology, the first book in the Inheritance Games, Legendborn, and then just kind of a mix of books. And then down here too are books that I'm really interested in reading. This group right here are again books that I've had for a long time that weren't necessarily ones I chose, but I am interested in reading, and I just kind of ran out of room on the other side, and since there's multiple by each author, I decided to put them over here. So, then there is, again, the stuff to make my bookmarks, and damaged books that I'm going to use to decorate my reading journal for 2023. So, yeah, and then we got a boo-boo and a Nidra all cuddled together. How cute is that? But anyway, that's kind of the current setup of my shelves. Obviously, these shelves aren't done. We revamped them. And so we put the sides on. And then this one over here, my husband created these 3 shelves because that was empty space built before. And so we put dowels. We couldn't find the exact diameter of these ones, so they're a little thicker. Eventually, I am going to paint them and such. But for right now, I just wanted to get my books in order. So that will happen at some point, but not right now. So anyway, that is it for the tour. And I'll go ahead and get into the haul. So, okay. Now that you've seen the shelves, obviously what I've recently hauled don't have a spot yet. I still need to put them on the shelves. So it's going to be the small shelf that you see because I still have space on the top and I can move my bookmark making stuff. Excuse me, I can move that somewhere else and put some books down there as well. So I still have that option. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to find homes for these, but I'm really, really excited. So let's start with the new ones. And so this is kind of, I got it because of my husband's bonus, essentially. I spent some money and past, what I spend at the thrift stores. So the first one I picked up, it was 10% off, so there was that. And it's I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. So I listened to the audio version of this, which I highly recommend because she narrates it and there's moments where she kind of gets choked up and it just really, really adds to the experience. But I wanted a physical copy of this book. I really enjoyed it. And I just love the aesthetic of this book. I love the yellow and the pink together. And so I wanted a physical copy and it was there. I almost put it back, but then I was like, no, I want it. And it is 10% off. So why not? And so I picked it up. So that was the first one I got. Then this one is because I've been seeing it everywhere. So when it first came out, like everybody was reading it. And now that it's been picked up by Tor and published, that way, a whole new wave of people are reading it. And I really was interested in it when it first was being read, and now that a whole new wave of people are reading it, I'm like, I have to get that book. And that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Uh, not gonna be able to get to this until the new year. I was hoping to squeeze it in on my December TBR, but it was already ambitious, and I have some rollovers from November, which if you haven't seen my November wrap up, I'll leave that link down below. So this one's gonna have to wait till the new year, but yeah, I was like, I have to get this one. And I actually went into the used bookstore looking for um, the next two in the Duncton Wood trilogy, which they didn't have, but they have a little news section. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. So I got that at the used bookstore, even though I could have got it probably at Barnes and Noble too. But there's that one. Then this one is book 2 in the Regency Fairy Tales, and I wanted to get this one, and Long Shadow I think is the third one, but they only had this one. So this is 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. I read Half a Soul and I loved it. Like, it was just like a warm hug. Like, I absolutely adored that book. And so I've been wanting to pick up the next in the series. So they had this one. It was damaged a little bit on the corner, but they gave me 20% off because of that. Which, I mean, it's a tiny little spot. And so yeah, now I have this. I still have to get Long Shadow. They didn't have that. And this was the only copy of 10,000 Stitches that they had. So yeah, I now have this, and this is another one I was really hoping to sneak in on my December TBR, and I'm just not gonna be able to. And I realize I haven't told you what these books are about at all. I'm just so excited for them. So I'm glad My Mom Died, by Jennette McCurdy is kind of her story and how her mom pushed her into acting and kind of affected some of her struggles in life. Um, and such. So really, really heartbreaking. And you just really feel for her. So even if you don't know who Jennette McCurdy is, you're not familiar. I didn't watch iCarly. Like, I was not a Nickelodeon, and I think it was kind of after my time anyway. Um, so Jennette McCurdy, but I knew it was something that I was interested in reading. And so I'm glad I really did. So there's that one. And then this one is basically about an orc that decides she's done with bloodshed and um, bounties. She's hanging up her sword and she opens up a coffee shop. And nobody knows what coffee is. So just everybody seems to really adore this book, and I can't wait to read it. And then this one is basically um, Regency era, so like think Bridgerton meets fairies. And the first one was so heartwarming. This follows two of the characters from the first book that weren't the main characters. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited to read that one as well. And then this is one that I've seen on a couple of TBRs, and it just sounded right up my alley, which is kind of how I got Half a Soul and ended up loving it. Like, I just saw it on a few TBRs, like not even that many, and I was just like, that's a book that I'm going to enjoy, and I picked it up and loved it. So I'm hoping the same will be true for this one. It's The Undertaking of Hart and Mercy by Megan Bannen. And so Hart Ralston is a marshal tasked with patrolling the strange and magical wilds of Tanria. It's an unforgiving job, and he's got nothing but time to ponder his loneliness. Mercy Birdsall never has a moment to herself. She's been single-handedly keeping Birdsall and Son Undertakers afloat in defiance of sullen jerks like Hart ate Hart, the man with a knack for showing up right when her patience is thinnest. After yet another run-in with the merciless Mercy, Hart finds himself penning a letter addressed simply to a friend. Much to his surprise, he receives an anonymous letter in return, and a tentative friendship is born. Little does Hart know he's bearing his soul to the person who infuriates him the most. So, I again love the colors on this cover, and I just can't wait to give this a try. Probably won't be as early in the year as like 10,000 Stitches and Legends Latte, but I'm hoping to get to it fairly early on for sure. So there's that one. And then I've never read anything by Jane Austen, and next year I'm planning on reading at least one of her works, and I want to start with Pride and Prejudice. And so I got this Barnes and Noble edition, which I think is just so beautiful, and I also like how soft it is. So yeah, I finally got a copy of this and a beautiful copy of that, and I will finally be reading it. Um, so this is planned. I'm not sure how early on. Um, I'll get to it. It might be later in the year, but I saw it there and I was like, you know what? That's on my radar. I'm going to read it in 2023, so I might as well pick it up while I'm here spending money anyway. Because I don't go to Barnes and Noble a whole lot. Like Barnes and Noble is a special treat. I prefer to buy like thrifted books when possible, and so new books I really really have to be interested in them. So there is that stack. Next is books I got from the church book or thrift store, rather, the church thrift store. And total, I spent $5.50 on these books. And let's see, there's 9 books. So not bad at all. Paperbacks are 50 cents, hardbacks are a dollar. Children's books, I think, are 25 cents to 50 cents. The one I got, I think, is 50 cents. So we'll start with this one first. So it's People of the Songtrail, a novel of North America's forgotten past by W. Michael and Kathleen O'Neill Gear. So we have this here, and it just kind of sounded interesting to me, so I thought, why not? It's 50 cents. So it says, on the shore of the American wilderness, a small group of settlers have landed, seeking freedom to worship far from the religious strife and political upheaval that plague a war-ridden Europe. 500 years before Columbus set sail, Vikings, in a desperate bid to find a new homeland where they can worship their gods in peace, have embarked on a landnam, or land taking. They are led by Thorlick, a feared and respected magic maker, and his apprentice, Thyra, an enigmatic young woman said to be an accomplished practitioner of Sigur Odin magic. The colonists are determined to make this lush new land their own, in spite of the skrelling barbarians in their way. Chief Badisset, leader of Well-Rib village, is brought the news that Wobie have returned to the people of Songtrail's lands. This knowledge fills him with sorrow and anger. 10 winters ago, these people came to his country and kidnapped children, among them Badset's own son. Badset wonders if they have returned to trade or to rape and pillage. And so the stage is set for an epic confrontation. There are factions for war and peace on both sides, and neither has the sole ownership of honor. And there is another battle not seen on this plane, a clash of magical wills that will determine whose people survive. Nothing is as it seems, and even the most innocent will have a role to play. Based on recent archaeological discoveries, People of the Songtrail is a story of swift and violent clash of cultures, and extraordinary men and women who were brave enough to work for the fragile hope of peace, a story that has remained untold until now. So, I don't know, it kind of caught my attention, so I got it. There's that one. Then this next one, I recently picked up the first in the series. And so I saw the second in the series, and I thought, well, I got the first in the series, and I do think it will be one I'll enjoy. And so this one's The Husbandry, which is book 2 in the Montana Marriages series by Mary Connealy. And so I got this one. And so No More Husbands for Belle. Standing over her third no-account husband's grave, Belle Tanner makes a vow, no more men. Now all she needs to do is get her cattle to market before winter sets in. But there's no one around except the drifter Silas Harden, and Belle is such a poor judge of men that she can't decide if he's worth hiring on. Silas just escaped a shotgun wedding, only to lose his money, his ranch, and his pride. Although he's determined never to get tangled up with women folk again, Belle and her 4 daughters seem to bring out the protector in him, and he can't seem to stop kissing Belle senseless. When a group of cowpokes, along with a white woman raised by the Shoshone, show up along the drive, Belle has her hands full. Can she keep her oldest daughter and glowing son away from no good cowhands, and herself out of Silas's arms? Will anyone get through this treacherous cattle drive unscathed and unhitched? So, I don't know. The other book sounded really interesting as well, and it just sounds like a good time romance. So I got that one. Um, and then this next one is one that was on my Amazon wish list. And I found it at the thrift store for 50 cents. So perfect. Saved a lot of money there. And it's The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. And I've just seen this on a few TBRs and I thought it sounded really, really interesting. And so when I saw it, I was like, yes, I'm snatching that up. So set on the island of Jeju, the Island of Sea Women follows Mija and Young Suk, 2 girls from very different backgrounds, as they begin working in the sea with their village's all-female diving collective. Over many decades, through the Japanese colonialism of the 1930s and 1940s, World War II, the Korean War, and the era of cell phones and wetsuits for the women divers, Mija and Young Suk developed the closest of bonds, but after hundreds of dives and years of friendship, forces outside their control will push their relationship to the breaking point. So, this is another one I'm really hoping to get to in 2023 fairly early on. So there's that one. Then this next book is by an author that I see fairly regularly here on BookTube, and I've never read anything by him. And so I saw this one. I don't know if this specific book is, popular or not, but I know the author is fairly popular. And so it's Ruth Ware, and this one is The Woman in Cabin 10. Um, and yeah, I'm not really sure. It doesn't really have a synopsis, but I think based on like a little blurb in the front here, um, it says a fantasy trip aboard a luxury liner turns nightmarish for a young journalist in The Woman in Cabin 10. Um, and so yeah, I'm excited to give it a try, and an edge of your seat thriller set on the most beautiful yacht in the world, full of great characters and twists. Y'all should check it out. That's by Reese Witherspoon. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a try at some point, and we'll see if I like Ruth Ware, and if I do, of course, I'll look into some of her other works as well. The next one is very popular, and again, got it for 50 cents. And that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So this is, I think, book 1 in the Grishaverse. Um, and so, or the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So yeah, excited to give this a try as well because I see it all over the place. I've never read anything by Leigh Bardugo, but again, very popular author. And so this one is Orphaned and Expendable. Alina Starkov is a soldier who knows she may not survive her first trek across the Shadowfold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed. Now Alina will enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. He believes Alina can summon a force capable of destroying the Shadowfold and reuniting their war-ravaged country, but only if she can master her untamed gift. As the threat to the kingdom mounts and Alina unlocks the secrets of her past, she will make a dangerous discovery that could threaten all she loves and the very future of a nation. So, as many times as I've seen people talk about this book and such, I never knew what it was about. Reading the synopsis, like, I'm really excited. This was one that I was kind of meh about, like, I wasn't like anxious to pick it up and give it a try, just because it was so hyped. But I never really heard anybody say what it was about. And then reading the synopsis, I'm like, that sounds like something I would really enjoy. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited for this. I have not watched the Netflix show or anything like that. But I'm excited to give that book a try now. Like, I wish these really hyped books, like people would still read the synopsis of or give a little, summary of the book themselves because, you know, yes, everybody talks about them, but half the time you still don't even know what it's about because nobody says it because they figure everybody talks about this book, so everybody should know the synopsis and such, which is not the case. So, yeah, really excited to try that one. The next one is one I'm pretty sure I've seen as well. It's a little dirty. I'll have to clean it. I think that's like glue or candle wax or something. I'm not really sure. But it's The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Jenoff. I think I've seen it like a couple times. And it does sound really, really interesting. So it says um, this is a remarkable story of friendship and courage centered around three women and a ring of female secret agents during World War II. 1946 Manhattan. One morning, while passing through Grand Central Terminal on her way to work, Grace Healy finds an abandoned suitcase tucked beneath a bench. Unable to resist her own curiosity, Grace opens the suitcase where she discovers a dozen photographs and each of a different woman. In a moment of impulse, Grace takes the photographs and quickly leaves the station. Grace soon learns the suitcase belonged to a woman named Eleanor Trigg, leader of a network of female secret agents who were deployed out of London during the war. 12 of these women were sent to occupied Europe as couriers and radio operators to aid the resistance, but they never returned home, their fates a mystery. Setting out to learn the truth behind the women in the photographs, Grace finds herself drawn to a young mother turned agent named Marie, whose daring mission overseas reveals a remarkable story of friendship, valor, and betrayal. So, yeah, this one sounds so good. I can't wait to read that as well. I mean, all these, obviously, I'm interested in, I'm excited for. I got them, but some more than others, that being one of them. And then this next one, so I have one of the books in my 24 days of Bookmas books is The Cat Who Came Back for Christmas. Don't remember the author, I'll leave it here, of course. And then I saw this book, and like for a moment, my brain was like, can't compute. It's The Cat Who Came for Christmas by a completely different author. This is by Cleveland Amory. But just the title is like, wait, like I know that title. And I was like, no, the title's a little different. And oh, that's a different author. Like it was just like, but I had to pick this one up. This won't be this year because I already have my books picked out, but this will save for next year for sure. And so basically, twas the night before Christmas when a bedraggled white feline enters the heart and home of Cleveland Amory. To say it is a friendly takeover is an understatement, for the cat who came for Christmas is clearly of an independent type, and Cleveland Amory, who has rescued many homeless creatures as president of the Fund for Animals, is where his own pets are concerned, primarily a dog man. Um, so it just sounds like a good time. So yeah, I picked this one up as well, but this will be for next Christmas. But and then there's two book of the month books. One I have seen and I've heard of. The other one I have never heard of. So, oh, easy. Nidra's is right here. She's knocking stuff on. And so yeah, these were $1 each. This is the one I've heard of. It's A Million Junes by Emily Henry. And this one was from June of 2017. So definitely an older one. But it says, when June collides quite literally with Saul anger, sparks fly, and everything June has always known is thrown into chaos. Who exactly is this gruff, sarcastic, but seemingly harmless boy who has returned to their hometown of Five Fingers, Michigan, after 3 mysterious years away? And why has June, an O'Donnell to her core, never questioned her late father's deep hatred of the Angert family? After all, the O'Donnells and the Ingerts may have mythic legacies, but for all the tall tales they weave, both founding families are tight-lipped about what caused the centuries-old rift between them. As Saul and June's connection grows deeper, they find that the magic, ghost, and coy wolves of Five Fingers seem to be conspiring to reveal the truth about the harrowing curse that has plagued their bloodlines for generations. Now June must question everything she knows about her family and her father she adored, and she must decide whether it's finally time for her and all the O'Donnells before her to let go. So yeah, this sounds like one that I'll probably enjoy as well. So yeah, pick that up. Like I said, somebody who donates their, gets subscription box books, reads popular current books. And then this one is Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. And this is like a Arthurian retelling or inspired book. So it says, everyone knows the legend of Arthur, destined to be a king, of the beautiful Guinevere who will betray him with his most loyal knight, Lancelot, of the bitter sorceress Morgana who will turn against them all. But Elaine alone carries the burden of knowing what is to come, for Elaine O'Shalott is cursed to see the future. On the mystical isle of Avalon, Elaine runs free and learns of the ancient prophecies surrounding her and her friends. Countless possibilities, almost all of them tragic. When their future comes to claim them, Elaine, Guinevere, Lancelot, and Morgana accompany Arthur to take his throne in stifling Camelot, where magic is outlawed and the rules of society chain them and enemies everywhere. Yet the most dangerous threats may come from within their own circle. As visions are fulfilled and an inevitable fate closes in, Elaine must decide how far she will go to change destiny and what she is willing to sacrifice along the way. So, yeah. I'm not big on Arthurian like retellings or inspired reads, but I figure give it that one a try and see if I enjoy it. Next is a whole bunch of books. I think these are 20 books here. And yeah, 20 books, and I paid $5.10. So, like I said, at this thrift store, the hardbacks are 35 cents, paperbacks are 25 cents, but you can get three hardbacks for $1. So, what you save 10 cents or something, 5 cents. Um, well, 30, 90, 5 cents. You save 5 cents. And then paperbacks you can get 5 for $1. So, got quite a few here, some children's books and such, because I am trying to expand my children's books. I know I haven't done Throwback Thursdays in a while, but I am planning on resuming that in the new year. So I got 2 Lois Lowry books, which I've read The Giver many times. It's one of my favorite books that I had to read in school, and then I really enjoyed it, and I've read multiple times since. So I got Number of the Stars, I got Gathering Blue, which, is a companion to The Giver. So this one, it says, Kira, an orphan with a twisted leg, lives in a world where the weak are cast aside. She fears for her future until she is spared by the all-powerful Council of Guardians. Kira is a gifted weaver and is given a task that no other community member can carry out. While her talent keeps her alive and brings certain privileges, Kira soon realizes that she's surrounded by mysteries and secrets. No one must know of her plans to uncover the truth about her world and find out what exists beyond it. So we have that one. And then Number the Stars. You have How Brave Are You, Little Anne Marie? Uncle Henrik asks his 10-year-old niece. It is 1943, and Anne-Marie Johansson, life and to Anne-Marie Johansson, life in Copenhagen is a complicated mix of ordinary home and school life, food shortages, and the constant presence of Nazi soldiers. Bravery seems a vague virtue, one possessed by dragon-slaying knights in the bedtime stories she tells her younger sister, Christy. Too soon, she herself is called upon for courage. As the German troops begin their campaign to relocate all the Jews of Denmark, the Johansons take in Anne-Marie's best friend, Ellen Rosen, and pretend she is part of the family. Ellen and Anne-Marie must think quickly when 3 Nazi officers arrive late one night and question why Ellen is not blonde like her sisters. Through Anne-Marie's eyes, we see the Danish resistance as they manage to smuggle almost the entire Jewish population, nearly 7,000 people, across the sea to Sweden. In this tale of an entire nation's heroism, Lois Lowry reminds us that there is pride and human decency in the world, even during a time of terror and war. So, a little bit damaged, but I'll tape that up, no problem. So, and a little bit on the back as well. So yeah, I've never actually read that one or the only one I've read by the author is The Giver, so excited to try others. The next, I recently hauled the complete series of Little House on the Prairie books, which I already had, but they were damaged, so I hauled another series and mismatched. They were damaged and mismatched. So I got the series that were in really good condition and all from the same publisher and such. And then I saw this. So it's West from Home, Letters of Laura Ingalls Wilder, San Francisco, 1915. This is edited by Roger Leah McBride and historical setting by Margot Patterson Doss. So I saw this and I thought, perfect, it will work to um, as a companion to the Little House on the Prairie books. And so Laura Ingalls Wilder went to San Francisco in 1915 to visit her married daughter, Rose Wilder Lane. Many years had passed since Laura traveled through the Midwest as a child by covered wagon, and now she made the long trip from Missouri to California by train. So yeah, excited to add that to my collection as well. This next one I just saw and I don't know, I had to pick it up. I don't know if I'll like it. It just seemed kind of interesting to me. And it's The Doll People by Anne M. Martin and Laura Godwin. Pictures by Brian Selznick. So there's this. Um, and yeah, I'm assuming it's just about these dolls and kind of their lives. It doesn't really say, but you have like that page there, and then you have the book, but Annabelle's Doll Secret, The Mystery of Auntie Sarah, and so yeah, I picked up that up and it sounds interesting. And this next one I'm just so excited for. I love the aesthetic and it's just cute. And it's Little Dog Lost. And this is by Renee Gillett and illustrated by Wallace Tripp. So yeah, that looks cute. And again, there's little pictures in here. And this just seems right up my alley. And I just love like the woodsy aesthetic of the cover. Then I found two Clifford books. I have two, and I love Clifford growing up, and so I'm trying to collect. This first one is very colored on, so I have this one. I think I can use alcohol and get the marker off the front of it, but some of the pages are colored on, and the pen I doubt I'll get off. But that doesn't bother me too much. I mean, it's a child's book. They're gonna color, and it looks like towards the middle and such, there's not colored on. So this is Clifford's Manners, and then the other one is Oops Clifford. So and these are by Norman Bridwell, and I have the Valentine one, Clifford's First Valentine's Day, and I have just Clifford the Big Red Dog. So two more to add to my Clifford collection. Definitely trying to build that up. And then this one, there was a bunch of these. So I think somebody got these, and I just donated them, or they got them for a purpose and had extras. I don't know. But it's The First Strawberries, a Cherokee story retold by Joseph Bruchak and pictures by Anna Wojtek. So there's this. Um, so there's a sticker, but long ago, when the first man and woman have a quarrel, the woman leaves in anger, but the son, taking pity on the repentant husband, sends tempting berries to earth to slow the wife's retreat. Only one berry has the power to reunite the couple. Luminous paintings perfectly complement this Cherokee tale of respect and friendship. Um, so yeah, you can see there. But yeah, excited to add that to my collection as well. And then let's see here. And then I got a whole bunch of books. So the first one is Velva Jean Learns to Drive. And this is actually autographed and it's by Jennifer Niven. So there's that, and you can see she autographed it there. Not familiar with this author, not familiar with this book, but reading the synopsis, it sounded like one I would enjoy. So it says, one Sunday when she was 10 years old, Velvet Jean Hart is saved. But being saved isn't like anything like Velvet Jean expected, and life soon brings devastating changes. Her father disappears on one of his adventures, and her loving mother becomes gravely ill. Before her mother dies, she urges Velvet Jean to live out there in the great wide world. The only world Velvet Jean knows is her home in the gold mining and moonshining mountains of Appalachia. Her secret dream is to become a big-time singer in Nashville until she falls in love with Harley Bright, a handsome truant-turned revival preacher. As their tumultuous love story unfolds, Velvet Jean struggles to find happiness. Will it be as the demure wife Harley wants her to be? Beautifully written, this is an unforgettable story about love, spirit, and finding the courage to follow one's dreams. So, excited. This next one, I love, love, love the cover. It's Pieces of Sky by Khaki Warner. And look at that beautiful cover, like stunning. And it does sound like something I will enjoy as well. So I do live in New Mexico. And it says, on a stagecoach traveling through New Mexico territory, Jessica Thornton is a long way from the cool mist and lush gardens of her native England. An authoress and milliner, she carries the weight of a scandalous secret, a horrible shame that has brought her to the West in a desperate search for the only person she can trust, her brother. No one prepared Jessica for the heat or the hardships, and no one prepared her for a man like Brady Wilkins. For despite the rancher's rough-hewn appearance and her own misgivings, Jessica must put her life in his hands after their stagecoach crashes, and she begins to see the man behind the calloused hands and caustic wit. A man strong enough to carve out a home in the wilderness, brave enough to fight for his own, and passionate enough to restore her faith in herself and in her heart. But oh, just gorgeous cover. Like I could just look at this all day. So there's that one. Then we have Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Um and this author I think I've seen people talk about before, but I can't remember for sure. And so this one I actually almost picked up last time I was at that thrift store, and I didn't. And so this time I was like, why not? So it says Ellie Mack was the perfect daughter, and then she was gone. 10 years after Ellie's disappearance, her mother, Laurel Mack, is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughter, and his youngest, Poppy, takes Laurel's breath away because the early, precocious Poppy is the spitting image of Ellie. And now the unanswered questions she tried so hard to put to rest begin haunting Laurel anew. Where did Ellie go? Did she run away from home, as the police have long suspected, or did something more sinister happen? A haunting page-turner of sheer perfection. Then She Was Gone is a gripping and emotional resonant tale of one mother's quest to uncover the clues she failed to recognize and finally discover the truth of what happened to her daughter. I'm having a difficult time talking today. So yeah, got that. This other one I almost picked up, I think the last two times I went to the thrift store, and it was still there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it because if I don't like it, I can always donate it back. And that is Stardust by Carla Stewart. So, um, this one says 2 days after Georgia Payton buries her unfaithful husband, a curious thing happens in the bayou country of East Texas. The long dead neon sign of the Stardust sputters to life and winks at her. Sustained by a memory from the past and determined to build a new life, Georgia acquires the rundown motel with hopes of breathing new life into its cozy cottages. But the guests who arrive aren't what Georgia expects. Her gin-loving mother-in-law, her dead husband's mistress, an attractive drifter, and an aging vaudeville entertainer with a disturbing link to George's past. George's only hope is to find forgiveness for those who betrayed her, the grace to shelter those who need her, and the moxie to face the future. One thing is for certain, under the flickering neon of the Stardust, none of their lives will ever be the same. So, got that one. Next is another very popular author. I tried the ACOTAR, the first book in that series, ACOTAR, by this author, Sarah J. Maas, and I saw this one, The Assassin's Blade. And so this, again, 35 cents. I did get a lot of paperback, so, or 25 cents, sorry, for a paperback. Get 5 for $1. So yeah, The Assassin Blade, and we'll see if I like this one any better than I like that guitar. But I mean, it's so cheap. You really can't beat the prices. So I thought I would give it a try. And it says Kalina Sardothian is her kingdom's most feared assassin. Though she works for powerful assassins guild, she yields to no one and trusts only her fellow killer for hire, Sam. When Selena's scheming master Arabin Hamel dispatches her on missions that take her from remote islands to hostile deserts, she finds herself acting independently of his wishes and questioning her own allegiance. She will have to risk it all if she hopes to escape Arabin's clutches, and if she fails, she'll lose not just a chance at freedom, but her life. A prequel to The Throne of Glass, this collection of 5 novellas offers readers a deeper look into the history of this cunning assassin and her enthralling and deadly world. Um, and so included in this volume is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, The Assassin and the Healer, The Assassin in the Desert, The Assassin in the Underworld, and The Assassin in the Empire. Let me know if I should start with The Assassin's Blade or if I should start with Throne of Glass. Because I am willing to pick up Throne of Glass if you think I should start there and see if I like it. But if I can start with the prequel, that would work too. So let me know what's the best way to read it. I'll also do some research. But yeah, there's that one. And then we have some hardbacks and I think one more paperback as well. But actually, let's do the last paperback. So this is The Bookshop of Second Chances by Jackie Fraser. So yeah, I saw this one and I thought I would enjoy it. So Thea Mottram is having a bad month. She's been let go from her office job with no notice, and to make matters even worse, her husband of nearly 20 years has decided to leave her for one of her friends. Bewildered and completely lost, Thea doesn't know what to do, but when she learns that her distant great uncle in Scotland has passed away, leaving her his home and hefty antique book collection, she decides to leave Sussex for a few weeks. Escaping to a small coastal town where no one knows her seems to be exactly what she needs. Almost instantly, Thea is enchanted with a quaint cottage, comforted by its cozy rooms and shaggy tulip-covered lawn. The locals in nearby Baldree, Baldotree, tree that. Anyway, are just as warm, quirky, and inviting. The only person she can't seem to win over is a bookshop owner, Edward Maltravers, to whom she hopes to sell her. Anna, please. Excuse Anna. She heard something. Um, where was I? To whom she hopes to sell her uncle's antique book collection. His gruff attitude, fueled by an infamous long-standing feud with his brother, a local lord, tests Thea's patience. But bickering with Edward proves oddly refreshing and exciting, leading Thea to develop feelings she hasn't had in a long time. As she follows a thrilling yet terrifying impulse to stay in Scotland indefinitely, Thea realizes that her new life may quickly become just as complicated as the one she was running from. So, that is the last paperback. And now we got some hardbacks. So we have The Fixer, Any Problem Can Be Fixed for a Price by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Again, another author that's very popular that I have not tried. And this one did sound really, really interesting to me. So it says when 16-year-old Tess Kendrick is sent to stay with her older sister, she has no idea that the famed Ivy Kendrick is the capital's #1 fixer. For powerful people looking to make a scandal disappear, Tess's sister is there to help for a price. And no sooner does Tess enroll at the prestigious Hardwick School than she unwittingly finds herself following in Ivy's footsteps. Tess never thought she and Ivy had much in common, but when her new friends at school need help, she discovers that her talents quickly make her Hardwick's go-to high school fixer. Secrets pile up as each sister lives a double life. until their worlds come crashing together in a conspiracy that reaches from the halls of Hardwick to Capitol Hill. Suddenly, there is much more on the line than good grades, money, or politics. The odds are stacked against Tess, and the price for this fix might be more than she can pay. So, yeah, there's that one. Then this is the second in a series, but it sounded really good, and I am gonna try to get the first one, which is Bloodlines. This one is called The Golden Lily and is by Rochelle Mead. And this is the author of the Vampire Academy series, which I have not read. I have seen the movie and liked it okay. So yeah, we have this, but this series sounds really good. And I was looking on Goodreads, it has really good reviews as well. So Sydney would love to go to college, but instead she's been sent into hiding at a posh boarding school in Palm Springs, California, tasked with protecting the Maury princess Jill Dragomir from assassins who want to throw the Maury court into civil war. Formerly in disgrace, Sydney is now praised for her loyalty and obedience, and held up as the model of an exemplary alchemist. But the closer she grows to Jill, Eddie, and especially Adrian, the more she finds herself questioning her age-old alchemist beliefs, her idea of family, and the sense of what it means to truly belong. Her role becomes even more complicated when magical experiments show Sydney may hold the key to prevent becoming Strigoi, the fiercest vampires, the ones who don't die. But it's her fear of being just that, special, magical, powerful, that scares her more than anything. Equally daunting is her new romance with Brayden, a cute, brainy guy who seems to be her match in every way. Yet, as perfect as he seems, Sydney finds herself being drawn to someone else, someone forbidden to her. So, seems kind of similar actually to Vampire Diaries, but or not Diaries, Vampire Academy. Uh, but yeah, I mean, can't beat the price, and with all the good reviews, I thought might as well give it a try. So, like I said, I will be looking for the first in the series, which is Bloodlines, and see how I like that. Then we have this one, which this one sounded really, really interesting. I think this is first in a trilogy, if I'm recalling right. Maybe a longer silly series called Walk on Earth, A Stranger by Ray Carson. And again, beautiful cover. And it says, Leigh Westphal has a strong, loving family. She has a home she loves and a loyal steed. She has a best friend who might want to be something more. She also has a secret. Leigh can sense gold in the world around her, veins deep in the earth, small nuggets in a stream, even gold dust caught underneath a fingernail. She has kept her family safe and able to buy provisions even through the harshest winters. But what would someone do to control a girl with that kind of power? A person might murder for it. When everything Leigh holds dear is ripped away, she flees west to California, where gold has just been discovered. Perhaps this will be the one place a magical girl can be herself, if she survives the journey. So, yeah. Sounds really, really good. And I hope I really like that one. Then, this one just sounded fun. It is a second book. In a series, but I'm hoping I could just read it by itself because it is a mystery, which aren't always my favorite, but it had a horse and I was like, yes, please. It's called Going Local and it's by Jamie Harrison. So you can see the cover there. And it says, um, Jamie Harrison's first novel, The Edge of Crazies, gained her many devoted readers and rave reviews. Now in Going Local, her lively and hilarious cast of characters from Blue Deer, Montana is back, featuring Jules Clement, the conscious and unlikely protector of the local populace. The novel begins as Blue Deer inhabitants are gearing up for the annual 4th of July rodeo, with out-of-towners descending upon the town in a kind of berserk westward ho. As Jules helps the hapless bar owners and other local merchants gear up for the onslaught, a shocking murder is discovered. That of a well-known environmental lawyer, who while running out with his young lover, was run over by a truck and dumped into a lake, still wrapped in his tent. So, yeah, like I said, these types of the book aren't my favorite, but this one sounds fun, and I love 4th of July and rodeos. So there's that. 2 more books to go. I know this video is a long one, but I haul a lot of books, and then we also have the bookshelf tour as well. So this one is How Hard Can It Be by Allison Pearson. This is another one I almost picked up last time, didn't, and then decided, you know what, why not? Give it a try. And so Kate Reddy had it all: a nice home, 2 adorable kids, a good husband. Then her kids became teenagers, read monsters. Richard, her husband, quit his job in favor of bicycling and therapy, dressing head to toe in lycra, drinking green potions, and spending his time and their money on his own counseling. Since Richard no longer sees a regular income as part of the path to enlightenment, it's left to Kate to go back to work. Companies aren't necessarily keen on hiring 49-year-old mothers, so Kate does what she must: knocks a few years off her age, hires a trainer, joins a women returners group, and prepares a new resume that has a shot at a literary prize for experimental fiction. When Kate manages to secure a job at the very hedge fund she founded, she's thrown into an impossible juggling act, proving herself again at work, dealing with teen drama, and trying to look after increasingly frail parents as the clock keeps ticking towards her 50th birthday. Then an old flame shows up out of the blue, and Kate finds herself facing off with everyone, from Russian mobsters to a literal stallion. Surely it will all work out in the end. After all, how hard can it be? So it just sounds like a humor-filled book, which I do need to read more of. I don't read humor a whole lot. So there's that one. And then last but not least is a Mary Higgins Clark book, which I've only read one, which I think I read it for my ABC Author Challenge, and actually really enjoyed it. And so this is the Anastasia Syndrome and Other Stories. So in a short novel, the Anastasia Syndrome, there's a big sticker. Um, but basically, orphaned during World War something, wants to trace her origins. In this quest, a renowned psychiatrist becomes something, and his experiments in regression. Unfortunately, I can't read the synopsis because there's a big sticker on the back. But basically, it sounds like an Anastasia inspired short story, and then there's some other stories as well. So that should be fun, and I just like the kind of how old style it looked, and everything like that. I think it's from a library, yeah, 1989. 1986 was one of the books, Lucky Day, and then there's 1987 for some of the writings, 88, but this collection was done in 89. So kind of has like a perfumey smell that I didn't notice, but anyway, pick that up as well. So that is it. The bag is finally empty. Now I gotta find homes for all these books because, yeah, I think, like I said, I'll probably utilize either the top. I'm leaning more towards the bottom shelf because the top shelf I want to save for putting like my to be reads up on and such. So anyway, I know this video is really, really long and I'm still kind of rambly. I'm sorry I stumbled through so many of the pronunciations and such. Let me know if you are interested in any of these books, if you've read any of them. Definitely let me know about Assassin's Blade if I can read the prequel without have reading without reading the series first, or if I really should start with the series. Like I said, I'm kind of hesitant because I did not enjoy Atwater all that much, but I'm willing to give it a try. So yeah, definitely let me know. Let me know if any of these that you're interested in or that you have read and whether you enjoyed them or not. And I'll go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.